Hello, I'm Neva and welcome back to my channel. This is Reading with Neva and we are about to do our monthly Stars Hollow TBR game. Who's excited? I know I am. So if you have never been here before, welcome. Please hit the like and subscribe button down below and I will explain to you how this game is played. So I have a D12 die here, which is just a 12-sided die for those of you that are not gamers, and I have my little game piece, and my game piece will move across this board that I drew up on my iPad, and this will help us to pick prompts for the month. So a caveat to this month is that this month I will only be reading books that are either Kindle Unlimited or checked out from the library, or that I have both a physical and digital copy on my Kindle itself. The reason for this is because I really need to get my Kindle library down, but I also would like to work on my physical TBR, but I'm not reading physical books right now. There are a few exceptions to this rule. If I can fit books in here that are being used for videos, vlogs and things like that, then I will do that. But most of those I do also have on my Kindle. So let's begin. All right, so there's no set number of rolls for this game. I just roll until I hit the end of the line. I'm sorry if this is upside down to you. Actually, let me just turn it around. I can do that. Here we go. All right, so there's no set number of rolls. We just roll until we hit the finish line. So let's go ahead and we will do roll number 1. All right, so we got a 9. And that is an LGBTQ plus pick. So roll number 1 is LGBTQ plus. So for me, this can be anything that either has rep in it or that is written by an LGBTQ author. So for this month, I actually will be reading Stay Gold, which is a book that I need for a vlog, and I believe from what I've read for the synopsis, it is a retelling of The Outsiders, and the main character is a transgender boy, I believe. So that's what we're going to be reading. All right, roll number 2. We got a 1, which is a reread. So roll number 2 is a reread. So I have this book, actually I have both the books in this series on my Kindle. So for this month, I'm going to do a reread of Priory of the Orange Tree. I wanted to reread this last month, which I didn't talk about this at the beginning of the video, and I should have, but I am giving myself grace this month. I'm not giving myself any punishments. I'm just going to kind of clean my slate for July, because June, I ended up reading a lot of LGBTQ books for Gay Pride Month and everything like that, but I also just didn't really focus on reading my actual TBR. So for this month, for July, I'm going to, for a reread, I will be doing Priory of the Orange Tree. It is pretty chunky, but I do want to annotate it, so I will be reading it on my Kindle but annotating the physical book. All right, roll number 3. I'm gonna try to make this flatter so that my die doesn't roll over. All right, so we got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I got 12 and I got a bestie pick. All right, so roll number 3 is a bestie pick. So when I land on this space, this means that my book besties, Crystal, Rainy, and Kelsey, will all vote on a book for me to read for the month. So I already know which books I'm going to have them vote on, so I will show them to you right now. These are actually for a video that I'm working on. So I'm going to have them vote between Slammed and Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. So I am working on a Colleen Hoover vlog. You're welcome for that little sneak peek. But I'm working on a Colleen Hoover vlog right now, and I'm almost done with another series that I needed to finish by her. So I need to decide which series to pick up next. So I will have Crystal, Kelsey, Rainey, and Brittany all vote on one of these two books, and then I will come back and insert which book they picked. So like I'll come back later on and I will actually what I'll do is I will just put the picture here in this video of which book they picked, but it will either be Slammed or Hopeless, and I will insert a picture here once they've let me know which one they were on. Rule number 4. 8. A Kindle Unlimited book. 1. So this actually works out really perfectly because we're only reading Kindle Unlimited and Kindle books this month anyway, and I haven't actually picked a Kindle Unlimited book. So for Kindle Unlimited, I'm going to be reading Divine Rivals. This is a book that I have started seeing a lot of places, but the first person that I saw talking about it was Jan Agaton, and we love Jan on this channel. So I will be picking up Divine Rivals for my Kindle Unlimited book. I think we're on rule number 5. I don't know. I've lost count of the rules. 8 again. A large book, 600 plus pages. All right, so obviously we've already picked The Priory of the Orange Tree as a reread, but we also got a 600 plus page book. So for that, we're going to be doing Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. This is actually technically also a reread, so as long as I read one of these, I could decide to count both for, or I could, so let's say I only read this one, I could count this for both a reread and a 600 page book, but I could do the same thing with Priory of the Orange Tree if it gets to the end of the month and I find I'm just not going to get both read. But I do actually need to read this for a vlog as well. It is a reread for me, but I read it like last year and I never moved on with the series. So House of Earth and Blood. We're going to re-roll that. 4. Instagram scroll pics. Okay, our next rule is an Instagram scroll pics. So what I do for this is I scroll through my Instagram. So I'm actually just going to pull my Instagram up on my computer, and the first book that I see will be the book that I read. Now, I've never actually done this before. I got this prompt from someone else, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do it. And actually, I didn't even scroll, and there was already a book at the front, and that is The Dead and the Dark by Courtney Gold. And my dear friend Erin is reading that. So that's what we're going to be reading. The Dead in the Dark. I will have to try to find that. Hopefully my library has it. And that's what we're gonna be reading. The Dead and the Dark. It looks like a horror to me. Let me see if she has a synopsis on here. It was her June read for her Patreon book club. And it looks like she gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So it's a spooky YA story. So hopefully I can find this. I'm actually just gonna type it in here. The Dead and the Dark. So that I can remember which book it is. But hopefully I can find it at my library. If not, I will have to purchase it on my Kindle. But that's what we're reading for that pick. Okay, that wasn't gonna roll, so I'm gonna redo that. All right, 11. All right, so we got 11, which means we would hit the finish line. So I'm just gonna go with Instagram poll picks for this month. So at some point I will be switching out this board so that my finish line will actually have some kind of a prompt that will switch every month, but I haven't gotten around to doing that. So this month we're just gonna go ahead with an Instagram poll picks. I do not know what book I'm gonna put on here. I do know which books I'm going to put. So there will be 2 books that I put up on here. So one of these books I've already started. I'm about 27% through, and that is Final Offer, which is the 3rd book in the Dreamland Billionaires trilogy. And then the other one that I will be putting up against for a poll pick is Twisted Love, which is the 1st book in the Twisted series by Anna Wong. I need to finish I need to reread Twisted Love so that I can read the 2nd book, because it's been so long between the 2 that I remember nothing. So those are the 2 books I will put up, and then when I have it, I will, just like with the other one, I will superimpose a picture here of which one they pick. So now we're going to talk about the few books that I need to read for this month. I don't have a set TBR for Beachathon. I'm kind of plugging books into Beachathon as they fit. So there's that. I'm letting myself kind of mood read for Beachathon this month, instead of actually having a dedicated like summer TBR. But I do have a dedicated TBR for the mid-year reading scramble. One of 3 boards for the mid-year reading scramble. I have picked the currently reading board. So all of my books are based off of that board. So I did start filming this after July 1st. So I've already started the 1st book for the mid-year reading scramble, which is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 1st book in the Addicted series. The other books that I have in my board for this specific readathon are Fourth Wing, which we all know what Fourth Wing is. It's by Rebecca Yarros. Everyone is reading this book. I did start this book because, again, I'm using my currently reading board. I am at about, I think I left off at about chapter 10. I probably will be starting this over just so that I remember things, but it's on my Kindle. Also, I do have the pretty edges, but that's what I have. So Fourth Wing is the next book on my list for mid-year reading scramble. The book after that will be Crown of Midnight. I'm about halfway through this, I think, but again, this might be one that I have to kind of skim to get through it to remember what has happened. So we have Crown of Midnight, and then the last one that is a currently reading book for me is Six Scorched Roses, which is the novella that comes after The Serpent and the Rings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Hello. All right, so we are now going to go over all of the books that I will be reading for this month's TBR. Now that I have everyone's picks and everything like that, any that I have physically, I will physically hold up, and any of them that are going to be like exclusive to my Kindle that I already have downloaded to my Kindle, I will show on my iPad. So the first one that we have is for the LGBTQ plus prompt, and that is Stay Gold, which I think I said this already, but we're just going right back over them so that you guys can see all of them all at once. This is a retelling of The Outsiders, and we have a transgender male protagonist. The next prompt that we will be fulfilling is a reread, and for that one we are reading Pride of the Orange Tree. This is dragons, it's fantasy. I feel like everyone knows Pride of the Orange Tree at this point. The next one is the Bessie's pick. I let them pick between 2 books, Slammed and Hopeless, and they picked Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which is for a vlog. The next one that I have is the Kindle Unlimited pick, which is Divine Rivals. This is by Rebecca Ross, and I heard about this from Jan, so I will be reading it this month. The next book that I have is for a large book of 600 or more pages, and that is Crescent City, which I said before that this one and Pride of the Orange Tree can count for both the reread prompt and the 600 plus book prompt. So as long as I read one of these, I will have fulfilled that prompt. The next one that I have is the Instagram Scroll, which is The Dead in the Dark. This book, I saw it actually just when I opened Instagram. Sorry for the glare. When I opened Instagram, this was the first book on the feed, and Erin from Erin and Megan was reading this. I know nothing about this. It says riveting, spooky, and expertly crafted, and it's by Courtney Gold. I've never read anything by her, but I believe this is a horror. And the final book that I will be reading is for the Instagram poll pick. I put 2 different books up on the poll pick. I put Twisted Love by Anna Wong, and I put Final Offer by Lauren Asher. That is the 3rd book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. Twisted Love is book 1 in Anna Wong's Twisted series. And everyone on Instagram I left it up for like 12 hours, I think, or something like that. And everyone voted for Twisted Love. So this is technically also a reread, but so it could count for that prompt as well, but it won't count for the 1600 plus. This is technically a reread so that I can read the 2nd book in the series. So our little stack. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It doesn't look super impressive because I think 3 of the 6 books are on my Kindle, but here we go. We got a couple of big boys in this one, but I think that this is totally 100% doable. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you are reading for the month of July. Follow, all my links are down below if you want to follow me on Instagram or Storygraph. Goodreads is down there, but it's not updated, okay? I think I said that in every video. By the time that you have seen this, new merch will be launching in a few short hours. I'm hoping to get it out by 2 p.m. Eastern on the day that this video releases. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.